Right, here we go. Good evening and welcome to IX Growth Trainings. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, my name is Sarah Shabbat and I'm hosting these every Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern with Eric Garrison and Doug Corbett. Tonight is going to be a little less formal than even we're used to, which I know is going to be even, I don't even know what words I'm looking for at the moment, but it's going to be really just kind of open for conversation, things you guys need help with, questions and answers, and it'll probably be shorter too than our typical Thursday night. So I know that there's a smaller group of us on and people are still rolling in here. But if you guys have anything kind of right now that you need help with, questions, kind of guidance, we have some promotions that we just closed out on one and we have, surprise drops on others. So Doug, Eric, whatever you guys want to add in here.
Yeah, there's I'm sorry, I was just listening to you. There's a lot of different things. The momentum right now that I've been having in what I've been doing is definitely the DCM. We earlier in the week, we thought we were sold out because of the weekend. Then they allocated a bunch more, and it's just been hot. It's, if you really understand what that product is about and what it's going to do. Matter of fact, I can share something here because I was just on a Zoom call before this. I've shared this a little bit with some of my other people, but I want to show you guys something. I don't know. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay. Doug, you know this. And this is interesting, you guys, because what you're seeing here is this company is called Fiat Link, and it shows you the transactions that are going through the blockchain, okay, for this particular product, which is Bitcoin. So you can see right here in the gray box here, and these are multiple exchanges, and these are the transactions that they're processing just constantly on the blockchain, just boom, 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 as fast as they can. And so that Debtbox is coming out with their own blockchain, the way that they're creating it and everything. And they use an analogy, about the airport, the planes coming in and taking off. Well, in my groups, I use an analogy of the freeway. So imagine you're on the freeway, and at certain times during the day, there's going to be less cars on the freeway than there is at other times. And typically what you're seeing here is these are all the transactions that are going through the blockchain in the United States as they're passing through. So right now, this isn't busy. During the day, you'll see this will be just literally just solid transactions that are just going through. Because why? Because the markets are open during that time. Stock market, options market, commodities markets, those things are going during the day. So there's a lot more transactions that are coming through than there is at this time of day right now. So we're kind of into the tail end of the day. But you'll see tonight, as Europe and Asia and stuff, as the new times come on board, you'll see that those will pick up in those areas going into Asia and into South America and different things like that. They'll pick up as the markets start to open in those areas. So I just wanted to share this with you guys because this is really what Debtbox is trying to change. What you're seeing here is you get in line and then you just wait for your transaction to process. It's like getting on the freeway and you're in gridlock until you have to wait for 2 hours and moving along very slowly to get off of your exit. With what Debt's doing right now, they're changing this. So as you're seeing this, all these tens of thousands of transactions are coming through. They're going to be able to block that into I call it a ball, is basically what it is. They're going to be able to compile a block of these transactions and then run them much quicker to get to that destination. Instead of waiting 2 hours, you're going to be waiting maybe a few minutes or so for that transaction to take place. You guys, if you understand that one thing, and I've been in the industry into cryptos for what, 6-7 years now. I have seen the volumes go through the roof since I started. What they're trying to do and put together is going to change the entire industry. And
Eric, can I ask you a question
Yes.
about what you just said?
yes,
So if I'm understanding this, because I'm still trying to get my head around the real meaning or the job description of DCM. So what you're saying then, so if that happens, then in fact, as we come in with our asset and we're assisting this process, and then while those transactions are taking place, is that then tokenizing and spitting out tokens the entire time that we play a role in that process?
absolutely. Your nodes that you'll own
Not 12.
benefit the entire ecosystem of that process happening. The more nodes that get out on here, just saying, I gotta mute. That happen, the more, and I call it bandwidth is really what I have. So meaning there's more bandwidth out there for these transactions to process, but then it's also now having our own blockchain instead of having to run on the Binance chain. Yes, all of that, all of what you're talking about right there will speed up the process, and in turn, that benefits all of us. That benefits all of us in the value of the projects, the coins, the nodes, everything. I mean, we're going to that next step as a company. Now, Jason posted something today, and I put that out into the group of what he was talking about, the L1, which is the layer 1. And maybe Doug will talk about this a little bit, but that he's going to come out with compile a list, you guys, of the companies that are registered to use the layer 1 blockchain in their businesses based on the company and the value of the company coming onto that blockchain, you guys. This is where it's so exciting, because if you understand where we're at, and when that moment happens, when that layer 1 comes in, and then all of a sudden we have these companies coming on board and using our blockchain, and we're all connected to it with nodes and everything. You guys, I mean, and of course, like I say, there's no guarantees. I get it. I understand there's no guarantees, but listen, I'm sure glad I've got my boat in the water right now when this thing happens, because when that moment happens and they say, hey, we're going live with this, they could just all of a sudden, they haven't given us a date yet. They could just all of a sudden say, hey, we've got the bugs worked out of this thing, we're going live. That's kind of the way I look at this thing is happening. And this is going to change everything, you guys. It's going to change everything. But coming back to what you're seeing here, you can see the bottleneck that has been created just on Bitcoin. And you can go through any of the other coins as well, because a lot of these are running on their own exchanges that they've created as well. Like I can click on here and you'll see BNB now will pop up. And this is the Binance chain, you guys. You'll actually see the transactions that are going through the Binance chain. It's a whole different deal than what the Bitcoin chain is going, but you'll still see those transactions coming through. It's just not as crazy as what the Binance is. So I wanted to share that with you. That was my kind of my little presentation I wanted to share, and I'm totally open to questions if you guys have questions on it. Good. Sounds like I answered them all okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Little by little, it's all going to get more clear. So just keep asking the questions, and yeah, bit by bit, you'll piece it together. Yeah.
If you guys have any other questions about anything else, please feel free to unmute yourselves and chime in here.
Well, I'm sort of curious who on the call tonight is actually interested in building the business and bringing in some other people, making commission to fund more perpetuals and more things. Are you guys, is that something most of you are doing? Yep, Casey's on doing that, and those guys. Okay. Suzette, yep. Okay. All right. Well, because I thought I've had a couple things happen that I thought might be interesting. One is I I finally created, so Sarah, is it okay if I go into this and talk a little bit about a giveaway? So one of the things that I've learned over the years is that when you're trying to get people to give up their email to get on your list for whatever you're selling, whatever reason you're building your email list, the conversion rate is always much, much higher when you give something away for them to give you their email. Because, you know they're going to get spam. You're going to send them a million emails, whatever. If you give them something of value, they're much more likely to give you the email address. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is sort of list building and ways to build the list. The follow-up, the money is in the follow-up, and we'll get to that a little bit. But I just want to share something that really works for me. So I think, in terms of keeping track of these people that you meet, whether it's friends and family or people you met at the market or somebody online, if you've got some kind of an online thing, keep them on a piece of paper, keep them in a Google spreadsheet, or keep them in a CRM. If you want to get really fancy and you really want to run it like a business, just sign up for a free Zoho account, and you can have a program that is almost as powerful as Salesforce, the #1 CRM on the planet. It's completely free. You can keep track of their birthdays. You can link people together, all this stuff. To me, for things like this, I like to keep it really simple. I think a piece of paper, that's the place to start, or a whiteboard. But then even just in a Google Doc, and Eric and I use a Google Doc because it's just easy for us. We're working on a lot of people together, about, I don't know, probably 127 people or something, whatever the number is. We need to keep track of them and what we've sent them and what we haven't. So I've created columns for, what we sent them and on what date and what, what status they are. And I can post when we have a Zoom call together. So Eric can just load that up, and he can see right at the top, all the people that we have upcoming Zooms are right there in red. So if I set something up when he's not on the call. So I think that just a simple Google Sheet is really, really effective. But then one of the things that I've used over the years is a company called Project Broadcast. And it's Project Broadcast is a texting platform, and the lowest thing is $18. The lowest offer is $18 a month, but you get 500 texts. And if you don't use them all, they roll over to the next month. So when I was first starting out, I wasn't even sending 500. So I now have like 5,000 or 8,000 or something in there, because some months I wasn't sending anything and they just accrued when I kept paying my $18. And I really like that about Project Broadcast. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I can show you that. Yep. I'll show you the Google spreadsheet. But let me just show you since I'm moving on from that, let me just quickly show you the Google spreadsheet. This is I have to do screen share. Hold on a second. So can you all see my desktop? Eric, can you see, or Sarah, can you see this?
Yes, we can see it, but
Okay, great. So this is what we use. So these are the people over here on the left that we've added. I put in this is a message for 617. I give them just a rough rank, A, B, C, D, E, and if they're really dead, then I move them down to the bottom. If they say, "No, I'm really not interested at all," we just move them down. But I put in here who's the sponsor, because a couple of them are for me, and things like that. And I put the city in there, the state. And again, don't go for perfection. Don't get caught up, because you can get bogged down in the minutia. You know what? If you've got somebody's city, just put it in here. So when you get back to them 3 weeks later, you remember, oh, they're in Pittsburgh, right? And something's happened with the Pittsburgh Steelers or whatever, and it can trigger something for you to talk about. But again, don't go nuts about that. I put the date added in there, their time zone, and the next Zoom date, I put it here in red so we can see it really clearly. And then a little bit, just the status, bada bing, bada boom, and then notes of interest. Anyway, that's it on that. So I'm going to just switch over and go to Project Broadcast as long as I have this. This is what Project Broadcast looks like. So I have compiled a list of people that are interested in crypto from one thing or another, and I put them in here with their phone number and their email. But guys, with texting, if you're serious about reaching out and following up with people, texting is 95% open rate. Emailing is 2% to 50%. And even in business where you know people, I don't open up 50% of the emails I get from people that I'm doing business with. So texting is really efficient and really effective. So without going too far into it, all you do is you just add people's name and phone number in here and email if you have it. And then you just send out a text and you just, put your brother or sister in here, send them a text, and boom, you're up and using it. It's so easy. Now you can then do keywords over on the left. You see here, there's keywords, there's tags, so you can sift and sort. So for example, I created, well, I'll just show you this real quick. I just created, well, this is a t-shirt. Well, I'll talk about that in a second, but I just whipped up this giveaway, right? I just opened up a Google presentation thing, dropped an image in there, called it starting and building your crypto ecosystem, our top 8 core Bitcoin and crypto partners. And I just wrote a brief overview about, and some of the things you need to know for people that don't know anything about crypto, not your keys, not your crypto, a couple of fun facts like that. I show them a really simple thing, the path of, Vanette, awesome. So a path of how this works for people that don't have any idea. It goes from your bank to exchange to wallets, payments, or cold storage, back to exchange and back to your bank. A visual, just really simple. Then at the bottom, I said, you just can go ahead and get started, or you can simply open an account at IX Global in the debt box for 150 or 250 using a credit card, and we will walk you through step by step and earn while you learn, right? Send your questions to Doug at Crypto Dreams. So I put in a way for them to get back to me if they want to. And then I just supplied them with all the exchanges that I've used and tried, and most of the people that I know in the industry that they're using. Just again, because there's so much overload. If you just start in crypto, there's 150 exchanges. You don't know which one to use. So these are the ones we all use. And I just talk a little bit about them. And then software wallets, long-term storage at Unchained Capital, recurring buys at Swan Bitcoin, and how to use it and why I like that program. So it doesn't matter what it is that you're doing. It doesn't really matter what the giveaway is. You just have to come up with something. Just whip something up that has a little bit of value. Don't get caught up in the minutia, getting it perfect. You want to have it to hand out. So I'm just going to tell you a little story. So here I have my crypto, you probably can't see it because it's really dark, but I have my Crypto Dreams t-shirt on, and on the back it says, well, here, I'll just show you. Let me go back to screen share. So this is what it says on the back of the t-shirt, and I just had this thing whipped up. I paid $15 to get 5 of these designs or something on Fiverr. So on the front, it says Crypto Dreams. It has Bitcoin on the sleeve. So if I'm wearing a vest or something, people can see the Bitcoin, and they often ask me questions. And then it says we make dreams come true in our website. But the little QR code, you can just go to any website, ask for free QR codes. So when people scan this QR code, it opens up on their phone with an email addressed to me where it's all filled out. All they have to do is put their name and their phone number in there, and they just hit send while we're standing there, and I get the email. So I have their thing. So when I first did them, but I just want to tell you the importance of this. Today I was at Costco talking to this woman who's with Sparklets, and I'm like, oh, they do Mountain Valley Water and they do home delivery now. So I set up my Mountain Valley home water delivery, and we got to talking one thing or another. She asked about the crypto, and she's all into investing and all this stuff. Well, we were there for like 45 minutes. I had her scan the back of my shirt, but it just went straight to my website because this particular shirt I had on today, I hadn't fixed the QR code to pop up the email so I could capture her email, because we always want to get people's email or preferably their phone number, because then we can reach out to them 1,000 times before they throw up the white flag and unsubscribe. So anyway, that's what happened today. So, but I knew when the website came up, I thought, okay, well, don't even worry about it. I went shopping, and then I came back. I whipped up my app, my Debtbox app, and I said, hey, I forgot. This is what it looks like. I forgot to show you. This is what the mining looks like. These are the coins I'm making every minute of every day. And she said, oh my God, I love that. And there's water and oil, and I can get in for, $150 a month, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yes. And I said, you know what? Here's a better thing. Why don't you just text me your phone number, just text me and I'll reply with my free giveaway, which gives you our top 8 crypto platforms. Would that be of interest to you? Oh, she said, absolutely. And she texted me. And right while we were standing there, I just sent her the link to my PDF. It doesn't matter what it is, how valuable it is. She may think, oh my God, this guy's a joke or whatever. But guess what? I got her phone number. So I now can put her into Project Broadcast and text her every time. When Travis is doing something special, boom, I invite her to go watch Travis. So anyway, so I just wanted to share some of that stuff. That's something that I do. And one last thing with this, back to Project Broadcast, is that so today, now that this PDF is finally finished, I think it was yesterday, I sent out a text. So can you guys still see my screen? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
You guys nodding. Okay. So I sent out a text to like 247 people yesterday. Because again, I can just put in, little brackets and drops their first name in or whatever. Have you ever wondered about crypto but never had the courage to figure out how to get started? Are you dabbling but not sure you're using the best exchange and wallets? We spent the past 4 years testing and using dozens of platforms. We use and recommend the same select few over and over again. If you'd like a free copy, just type the word ecosystem in a reply and we'll send you a copy. And always I put under there, please stop to unsubscribe at any time, which has the open rate even higher. And, some people type in, you can see over on the left, 1, 2, 3, 4 people typed, 5 people typed in stop, and they get removed from my list. So I'm not wasting money texting them anymore. But what happens is when they type in the word ecosystem, I pre-wrote this email that says, hi, Sharon, thanks for your interest in learning more about our hand-selected crypto partners. Here's your short getting started guide and a link to it. And when she clicks on that link, the PDF opens for her and she's now tagged under the group ecosystem. So I know she's interested in crypto and she took a recent action to respond to one of my emails. So she's a hotter prospect. And I'm writing back to these people one at a time, which I said, so this is the automated one that gives her PDF. If you have any questions, simply send us a text. But then today, I didn't hear back from her. So I said, hi, Sharon, did you find our short list of top tier crypto partners useful? I help people all day, every day, earn passive income and build long-term asset portfolios. Are you currently and I always you always want to put a call to action. So I put, what are you currently doing to earn passive income? So she's got a question to answer. So anyway, I know that's a lot and I just powered through it, but I just want to let you know that some of this automation, some of these systems over time will really help you, because people just don't say yes. They're busy. Even if they respond to something and they're interested now, it doesn't mean they're not going to be interested in a short period of time. Because in even 6 months, because if you do this, you wouldn't even remember who these people are. But when you send out that text, that guess what? When the L1, when the level 1 goes live, and I can send out a text to all these people, I don't have to remember anything. I have all these people that I know are into crypto, and I just send them a text with a link to listen to Travis explain it. So I don't have to explain what level 1 means. I just, again, you just use the tools. So like when you send out the 3-minute videos, either the corporate or the Travis or both of them, and people respond, just put them on your list. And then I just put them right into Project Broadcast. So it's just the automation, it just increases your reach and how consistently and effectively you're educating, because this is an education business. People need to understand not just about crypto and all that, they need to know the difference between NatG at such and such a price and DRIP at this price for the perpetual versus buying the coins and all that stuff. It's an education business. This gives you a chance to do that. So anyway, I just want to put that out there. For $18 a month, Project Broadcast has just been a gold mine for me. I've enrolled probably in, not just this program, but a few programs, probably 30 to 35 people through there. So
I love it, because I'm really going to do this as well, because right now, I would say 90% of my people coming in right now is between my Facebook groups and my blogs. I love what Doug's putting together here, just because It is kind of the follow-up side with the text side. And I like that because people, I don't know about you, but every time I get a text, I'm looking at it, you know, so people, they see it and they're going to either respond or they're going to delete, but you're getting them kind of at that moment to make a decision like, oh, well, cool, I want to follow up. So I think it's really, really neat. And I'm definitely going to try it and have Doug, you know, kind of step me through this process. But I think all in all, you know, everybody's looking for different ways to be able to get people in, and it's been working. That spreadsheet that Doug was showing, it has been beautiful for us because we know right where we're at. As soon as another one comes in, we team up together on them, we get them in and signed up and going. And we just keep doing that over and you guys, it's no different for each person. We have a process. It's the same introductory message we send with a couple of videos, then we get them on a Zoom and we do the same. Literally our Zooms are almost identical every time we're doing them. And then we make them make a decision at that time. Where are you at with this right now? And then we commit them to getting on board. If they're ready to go, they're ready to go. We commit them on board and we close them. We sign them up right there and they're ready to go. And then we move. We send them the onboarding side. So meaning we help them then get everything set up. So we just have a cut and, you know, dried system that we've put together, and it's been working great for us. And I think it will work out really, really well. That's one thing that, you know, we've been able to put together. And I honestly think you guys can do the exact same thing that we're doing, and it will benefit everybody.
Yep. I do think, look, Facebook is really effective, and it's a great one. It's one good place to find new people, but I really like to get people outside of Facebook. And so, yeah. And I get them into Project Broadcast because then they're getting texts and I have their phone number and they can call me, I can call them. And one last thing is when you sign up for Project Broadcast, you get a business phone number. So it's not coming directly. That nobody in here has my direct phone number for texting. They can only reach me through this phone number. So it's just a level of separation of business and personal. And but anyway, that's I prefer doing text when I work with people. Sometimes we do it because again, I'm doing a lot of things with Eric. We do the little group thing in Facebook. But oftentimes I just switch people over to texting. So if they need to buy something on the Depbox and they've got a question, it doesn't matter if I'm in my beach office or I'm on my bike or whatever, they can get me. And that's really important. This is this business is a time sensitive one. So for people that I'm working with actively, I want to be available, not so much leads, but for people that I'm actively working with. So any questions? Does anybody have any? Megan, did you have a specific question about Project Broadcast? You can just unmute and ask.
Yeah, no, I actually liked what Lindsay said, was just to have like more of a like a training specifically on it, or like more information and like an in-depth call maybe next Thursday night, if that was possible, on how to set up and like go about preparing yourself so that we're starting off with success. Because does the QR code and the t-shirt and all of that coincide with Project Broadcast, or was that something separate?
Oh, totally separate. I mean, I've been in marketing and the magazine business, making t-shirts for concerts and parties for 50 years. So I just always whip up t-shirts. I like wearing my own t-shirts a lot of the time. So I just had them made at Printful. I went to Fiverr.com. Again, I've worked with a lot of creative directors and art directors. So I found a really talented creative director. I think I paid, like I said, $15 for a whole bunch of designs. And I just happen to like that one on the back, that she did. But so anyway, the t-shirts are totally separate. The t-shirts, to meet people at Costco or whatever and get them talking, get their phone number, that's all separate. But here's what I want to say about Project Broadcast. And again, I've worked with a million different software programs. And there's certain ones that I stick with that I just really like. With Project Broadcast for $18, there probably are 50 to 80 1 to 3 minute videos on every aspect of it. And every time you watch a 1 minute to a 3 minute video, you earn more free credits. So, and it's not, some of them are like 100 at a time. So you watch the introductory video of Project Broadcast, you get 100 free texts. You watch the one about how to set up a keyword and use a keyword, Boom, you just got another 50 free texts. So everything, and I go in, and if I forget how to do something, I just go in and watch the 1 to 3 minute video, and I zoom right to the part that I want that I'm forgetting. And I just go in and I have both windows open and I just do it. So I could probably do it just because but I'm not going to be as good as these folks are. I mean, they just got it dialed in. So just go to, and I never give any codes for earning commissions or any of that stuff. So just go to projectbroadcast.com, sign up, pay $18 and click on the little things to take the trainings and see how it goes. And if you don't like it, just cancel it. And that's what I say. Just go in and click on, it's just like sort of like a CRM. You just click on contacts or any address book, click on contact and add your brother, sister, or your sponsor, put your sponsor in there and send them a text and you're in business. And then you just, again, you don't want to I didn't use keywords and tags for months and months and months. I just sent texts out to people and then had them respond. It's just better when you use a keyword, you can sort the lists and you can, send them you can automate a reply. But I'm happy to answer on any of these calls. I'm happy to, if something comes up, I'm happy to answer the questions. I just don't want to turn these into really long, boring things that where not everybody is interested in it. So I just sort of want to do a top level and just share the tool with y'all.
That sounds great. Thanks.
Yep.
Doug, do you care if people just reach out to you directly? I mean, that way you can kind of.
I don't at all. No, not from this group. Either
Okay.
just you can reach out to me in our chat in Sarah's Facebook group, or I'm in there. Just click on my Facebook thing and just send me a message. That's fine. Yeah, anytime.
Any other questions of anything that you've seen this past week, that's been talked about, or anything that you need any answers or we can help you with? Go ahead, Casey.
So I've had a few people sign up here this last week who are just on the $50 subscription, but they've gone and bought a bunch of licenses, hosting credits. So I have the membership that just it's included, but I know the $50 one doesn't include the hosting credits, correct?
Right.
So for the first 30 days, it's covered, but then they've got to either purchase the credits or they up their membership. Is that correct?
Yeah, so let me hold on here. Let me show you really fast. This will load really quick.
I thought it included 3 hosting credits, the 50.
Yeah, the 50 includes 3.
Oh, hold on here, you guys.
Is
Sorry.
it 1 hosting credit per license?
Eric,
You get 3 perpetuals, I believe.
Right. Okay, so if you go over here onto your left-hand side here, Casey,
Mm-hmm.
you can manage your hosting through here. So you can add licenses to here. This is the side to actually host your credits if you have a VBox. But if you're wanting to go in, why is mine different here now?
because they like change.
Yeah, because you could go in and actually I had another tab on here. You could actually go in and purchase.
Well, let's click add in the upper right-hand corner. Click the green add.
Here, just a second. Yeah, they did change that around. Okay, here you go. So now you can go in and do, you can add the hosting time. So you can actually buy the credits themselves. And you can pay for these, you guys, with your debt coin if you want to. I've had to do that before, but you can go in and you can pay with your debt coin using that. If you have 20 or more though, I'm just telling you, the best way to go is just the VBox, just because it makes everything just a whole lot easier and you're not going to have that issue with it.
How many perpetuals does a VBox hold?
20.
Oh, 20. That's amazing. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So one VBox, it's $1,000. It covers 20 of them. Now,
Yeah.
they may be changing that, you guys, just down the road, just letting you know that there is some talk about the hosting being changed and stuff. Whether
Well-
or not they're gonna do that, I don't know.
Yeah, Mike just posted the V boxes are sold out and Jason was alluding to that and I guess Mike heard that it actually is sold. They are sold out. But also, well, Eric, I'll just do share screen here
Oh,
because
sorry.
I think, so also you can just go to, whoops, that's not what I want to do. Depbox rewards and go, because you can also just go to products.
Yeah.
Are you guys seeing my, yeah, you are. Okay. Go to products. Oh, it's slow because of the thing. And just click on X nodes. And as soon as you get on X nodes, you've got buy additional hosting credits right here. And you can just do it by the month or you do it by the year and you can do one, whatever it is. And this
That's
is
probably the easiest way to do it than just doing it through it. I've been doing it through Depbox. So this
because
is a great way.
you have so many V boxes and you're so involved
Yeah.
with Dropbox. But I just think for most people, you need 1, 2, or 3, and you want to do. I tell people, it's only $5. You may as well just do the year. It just takes something off your to-do list. So just do 365 times 3 of them, and it's going to come out to $180 or whatever, and then you're done for a year.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just wanted to show that. Yeah. And everything is just getting easier and easier and faster. In the next 6 months, everything will be sort of different anyway. Yeah.
Did that answer your question, Casey?
Yeah, the both of the folks that I was referring to, I think about 6 and 7 licenses, so that's more than their $50 one will give them. So now that you showed me how to get to purchasing more, that seems pretty easy, I think. Yeah. Is that just can you just pay by credit card or debit card that way, or does it have to be through coin purchasing?
Hey, Catherine Ann, did you complete that process today with somebody?
Yes, and also Casey, for the, for the 130 membership, you get 10 perpetuals hosted. So they may be in the 10 range, especially if they're going to bring, if they're going to bring some more people in. So what I do with people is I start at the 50 and then I tell them after you get 3 perpetuals, we're going to have to bump you up to the 130. So they don't feel like I'm, messing them around with charging them too much at the 130.
It's also it's a lot cheaper. Thanks, Catherine Ann, but it's a lot cheaper to stay at the 50 and just add hosting credits at $5 a month. So, but Catherine Ann, what I was asking is if you could use credit cards for buying the extra hosting credits. I haven't done it in a while.
We didn't buy extra hosting because she went ahead and she did the $50 plan.
Oh, okay.
So she's got, 3.
But
She'll
okay,
have to though, probably if she decides not to continue the 50.
okay. Well, Casey, I do believe you can use a credit card. I do think that's a business tool. And I do think you can use credit cards for the hosting, but just check when you check out the first time, then you'll know for sure.
Yeah, thanks.
Anyone else? Anything?
Yeah, I got a quick question.
Sure.
Oh. All right, I have a couple of people that we've run into this scenario where they get new phones and then they didn't get a backup for their Authy. And so then they try to sign in and it asks for for the backup phrase, they don't have it. And they get locked out of being able to see their nodes. So this happened, one guy told him to put in the contact customer service. And they said, okay, you can use Google Authenticator if you want. And so what happened, he just called me actually while we were on this meeting. And he said, he tried to go back in. I told him to say, disable it. So it was disabled. He went in and right off the bat, they said, okay, you got to set up your 2FA through Authy. And so he's going around in circles because now he cannot get into his account because it keeps asking him to set up that 2FA and he can't do it. So I don't know what to tell him to do because he wants to get other people, but he's really frustrated right now. And because he's stuck. And if he goes to customer service at Depbox, they'll reset it, but through his phone, so.
Yeah, I had the same thing happen with someone that's kind of very similar. And then they had to reset up a different Authy. And they actually had to use a different email and everything to do it because they had to create a completely separate account. I don't know why they do that, but that was a problem. And then he was able to set everything up with a new account. And then he was able to log in that way. So that's what we had to do. And I think it's just because of their security, protocol that they've got put in there and all that stuff that once your email is used, your information is used, it just, you just can't reuse it again.
Right.
So that's what I would suggest. It was about a 3-day battle, but we got it all figured out. And you just had to use it, he actually set up a new Gmail account and then use that.
So because he uninstalled it from his phone and then reinstalled it, it kind of like recognizes, I think, his phone number.
Yeah, probably had the cookie in it. So he's got to go in and what he had to do is he had to go in and erase the cookie for that particular, with Authy, and then he was able to do it.
Okay. He's got to go.
Once it recognizes that cookie, it retains that information in there. And that's why I'm saying it's about a 3-day deal. Now there is, just letting you know, go to YouTube University, get on there. There are tons of videos, people talking about how to set up Authy, and they've gone through the same issue. There's hundreds of videos on there about this. And some of them are good and some of them are bad, but I had to study several of the videos to be able to understand it, but I was able to figure it out after a little bit. But yeah, they've got some crazy ways, and they'll just tell you, the one video I watched, which was really good, it explained you got to erase the cookie, and then when you put it back, when you download the Authy again, then you can reset it back up.
Okay, that makes sense.
So does this happen every time somebody replaces their phone? Or is this just a circumstance that there wasn't checks and balances that didn't take place beforehand?
Yeah, usually when people have gotten new phones, they can transfer over, the information, especially like iPhone, everything's backed up. You guys, I'm just always backing everything up on the cloud, just because you just don't know. And I've had an iPhone before that just shut down and it was gone. I'm like, oh my gosh, and it took forever, but then I finally was able to get it back up and running. I was in a full panic because I didn't know if I had backed everything up. So now I'm forced, I do the cloud on all of it, and I highly suggest it, just because then it backs up all your apps and your photos and all that stuff instead of putting it on your laptop. But the cloud is always there. And then when I got a new phone, put in the information and it downloaded everything off the cloud. It was crazy, but it took an hour, but everything was back on my phone, identical to what the previous phone was. So.
I think another thing is too, when people are setting up the Authy, and that's what happened to these two people, it's asking you to set up your own backup phrase.
Yes.
And they don't do that. They don't even recognize that. They don't do that, because I think if you set up the backup phrase, then you'll be all set, because once you go into another phone, you can just put in the backup phrase and then it'll restore to Authy. So that's probably important for people that are
100%.
setting up the Authy, to make sure that you don't overlook that part and set up that backup phrase.
That's a great point. And yes, absolutely.
So,
I just looked into my secret file here, and you said a key phrase about back. I actually do have a backup password chosen, and I do have it written down. So apparently if that happens, I can just
that's it.
go to there.
You're
Okay.
good, you're good.
So I didn't even realize I had the backup until you just said backup, your own backup, but this is my own backup. So, okay. Okay. I can breathe again.
Okay, yeah, so if there aren't any more questions, we could probably wrap. I know Sarah's hoping to get under the covers
Yeah.
and rest up. But anything else? Yeah, so one of the things I just want to again request that testimonials that you guys share, either goals, I mentioned yesterday, and happy solstice to everybody. The longest day of the year was last night, so today's the start of the second half. And it's always a good marker and a good place to set some goals for the second half. I do it. It's much more of a bigger deal for the winter solstice for me, because the days start getting longer and more of an expansive period. but it's important to do it now too. But I'd love to hear what, some of your goals and what you have on your vision board on these calls where you can share, things from your vision board. But we could do that next week. Have some fun where you guys let us know why you're doing this. Okay.
Good deal.
All right. Well, have a good weekend. Sir, you want to close it out?
Yeah, so I'll post this recording in here. I think if we want to do a more thorough training next week about some of the stuff you were talking about, Doug, we can. And
Cool.
guys, don't be strangers in that group chat. It's there to help you.
I just want to be careful that we don't, that if everybody's not interested in Project Broadcast, that then we only have like 3 people or 4 people on the call. So reach out to me if you want more specific information on Project Broadcast, and I'll get that to you. But we'll come up with, but if there's certain things, we could definitely go over it. So
And just so you guys know, DCM's down to 750 with a 1 limit in the back office now.
wow,
Wow. Okay.
That
I know.
is,
I know where Eric's going.
they won't let me buy anymore, Doug.
Yay. Now save some for everybody else.
I've been banned.
Yeah.
I've been banned from DCM. I've got all I'm gonna get.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for letting us know.
Yeah.
You guys have a good weekend. We'll see you next week.